What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with an exciting War Scourge preparation video in terms of what we can potentially expect from a team that I believe is going to likely have synergy and value, especially given this opportunity right now. If you guys recall, we got the Pestilence Scourge right now and we have this chance to actually be able to go in. And fortunately, it's really cool because these first couple nodes with them requiring hero character traits, the majority of the War Scourge characters are actually hero traded. So if you guys recall, 3 teams are going to be eligible for the War Scourge, specifically nodes 5, nodes 10. And that's Heroes Asgardians, Wave 1 Avengers, and then as well as Ravagers. So what's cool about this is that we were able to actually go ahead and test out a couple teams. So I wanted to report back to you guys in regards to what seemed to have worked, but as well as showcasing for you my team. But you can see here, guys, in these first 2 nodes here, it actually allows us to use heroes, and that's the majority of actually all the Wave 1 team synergies, as well as Heroes Asgardians, really giving us a sense and taste of, can these teams actually perform as intended later on. And just a disclaimer as well, guys, keep in mind that these are not specifically teams that are going to be reflected in War Scourge, but it does allow us to get a sample preview of if this team can actually potentially work, and whether or not this synergy will actually find success later on. And in my gameplay too, guys, you'll see that I was actually able to get through the first node specifically. You can see these enemies are not weak, like they're all in that 150k range, but I was able to do it with a difficulty 7. And generally with difficulty 7, no scourges, you need about I would argue, 550 600k, around that ballpark in combat power to get through it. So before I dive into the gameplay, guys, let me show you my roster, the characters I've chosen to find the synergy, and then show you the gameplay in terms of how it actually turned out. So first and foremost, these are all the characters I have right now that are kind of built up to give you a sense of who's ready essentially for the War Scourge in my account. As you can see, what's missing from this is a couple of the Wave 1 characters as well as Ravagers, just because in my honest opinion, based on the research and what I've seen typically with the synergies, I think this group of 10 characters will likely be my B team and my A team. How that's going to be arranged still remains to be seen, but at least I can show you guys my strategy in terms of my experimentation here. First and foremost, I will have to say, super lucky that one of my first 7 reds in the game was Thor, and he's likely going to be the centerpiece for the teams. Regardless if it's a B team or A team, Thor can be slotted into both Wave 1 and Heroes Asgardian, so he's a very safe choice if you guys have him built up, and you'll see why in the gameplay as well. He's really going to be the difference maker between taking down the mobs of enemies, given that RNG factor. But just the fact that if you pair him up with the Raider ISO 8, his passive here, God of Thunder, where he just strikes for the devastating damage to all enemies, it's off turn as well. So yes, he is a slower character in the game, but because he has all those off turn attacks whenever there are charges being inflicted, you're going to see the value that he's going to get from being a team member on the team. Now, the rest of my team, the four remaining characters, then I'm going to round this out here. It starts off really with a hybrid synergy. I combined Mighty Thor here. As you can see, I still have her built up. Now, funny enough, when I actually recorded the video of doing the playthrough, I didn't know that I actually didn't have any ISO 8s on her, so I actually played at a disadvantage. So you'll see in my gameplay, I didn't actually have ISO 8 on her, but sure enough, she still did really good. And then I also included Valkyrie into this mix for the Heroes Asgardians. Couldn't bring her up to the ISO 8 blue yet just because she needs to be level 75. But again, I wanted to keep these teams moderate so you can see their power level. Really, the only exceptional character I had for this playthrough was Thor. And again, because I built him up confidently with the 7 red stars and as well as the ISO 8 blue. Rounding out the rest of my team synergy was Black Widow. I found that her having the camouflage tech, being able to cleanse, at least from any skill, military or Avengers, in this case Thor, did provide value. But more importantly, it's the fact that she can actually apply speed up and has a chance of doing so. As you can see, 60% chance. So even if she's likely going to be one of the first characters in your team that actually starts off. If you don't get the speed up for your team, just cancel out, and that's where that RNG factor is likely going to play in. I also like the fact that she can transfer positive effects, but as well as being able to stun. Having that utility is really important. The fact that she can shroud mitigates damage from her. And then last but not least, to round out the rest of my team, this is the one that I was kind of up in the air about because I wasn't sure if I should just add another Heroes as Guardians or maybe a potentially new rework character, right? So we know the Gamma team is going to be the highlight of this month. So I figured, hey, why not test out Thor? Brought him up to level 75, even slapped in an ISO healer on him just to give some additional sustain and healing for the team. But what I really liked about Thor's synergy with the rest of my team was just the fact that he can tank and take on so much damage. And even with his special, being able to cleanse himself of negative conditions, if he's being, keeping damage away from the team, but also being able to self-sustain. And as well as passive here, whenever he does drop below that 50% threshold, his speed bar actually does get filled up and gaining offense up with charges. And that synergy, as well as the fact that when any enemy attacks a Gamma or Wave 1 Avenger, his speed bar also gets filled up. So just a lot of value overall. He's a very tanky character now with the rework, and he's not as slow as he appears because of that additional speed up being provided. So this 5-character team, guys, seemed to work exceptionally well for me. And I wanted to give you a sneak peek of it because this could be potentially a team that we're looking forward to. I did also try a full Wave 1 team, and I got blown out because my Wave 1 is actually not that strong right now. And as well, I did also utilize the Heroes as Guardians, including Sif and Heimdall. And again, because of them being lower, they didn't find much luck in difficulty 7. So now, guys, that's the 5 characters I utilized, and they seem to do really, really well. And now I just want to show you the gameplay here, and you can see for yourself. And also, guys, a couple of key disclaimers too. This is a fast Weapon X team that we're up against that inflicts a lot of bleeds, a lot of conditions, and heal blocks. And that is actually directly the weakness of Heroes as Guardians. Maybe that's potentially why we don't get as much luck, but you can see from the beginning, I go ahead and I actually activate the stun on Lady Deathstrike here. And go ahead, again, with Hulk being able to soak up damage, and you can see how if anybody's getting attacked, he's going to be getting the speed up, especially if it's Thor or Black Widow. Charges are being built, and we got Mighty Thor there, just being able to add disruption to Phyla-Vell, but she does have the cleanse, so that's unfortunate for us as well in the beginning. But again, look at how much damage Thor does. Like every time there's a charge, that's one attack there now after the enemies just do a couple attacks, because everybody has the opportunity to actually gain charges when they get attacked, or as well they can add additional charges like Jane's attacks whenever she does activate her ability. So you can see how often that Thor goes off here. But we got to take down this speedy team, and I think this is a great measure of how they can do even against a speedy team. So that's 2 charge attacks already by Thor. And again, guys, I have a 7 red on him, so that definitely makes a huge impact. But also keep in mind, the rest of my team here is actually under leveled compared to the enemies, because all of them are ranging from that 150 to 160k range. So now we finally go ahead. Thor gets his turn to activate his stun, and Black Widow also has a stun. We constantly have Hulk, you can see, almost being able to replenish all of his HP, each of his taunts, getting this constant speed meter and turn up. He can actually focus on his attacks and take down damage dealers. And at the same time, anytime that we use Jane's abilities, again, it's going to keep generating charges. Again, third strike there for Thor. You can see how a sample of how this is going to actually look for the playthrough when we actually do get War Scourge, because all the different attacks there, the off-turn attacks, especially we have a built-up Thor with the Raider ISO. I think that's going to be the difference maker here. Just look how powerful he is. And again, just the number of off-turn attacks, despite this team being slower, the Heroes as Guardians, right? And Black Widow, I think, does an exceptional job of being able to help out. I save her attacks there because I didn't want to use her special there in case you wanted to bring her attacks into the next node. But you can see difficulty 7 got the job done here with a team power lower than 600k, and that's generally around the ballpark what we would expect typically from a team like this. So there you guys have it. The next node was a lot harder, so I don't think it was practical just to show you on screen, but you can see just because of the Secret Avengers being against us. Yeah, it just wasn't a practical way. I tried a few times. It did actually work when I did some sacrificial attempts and then threw them in, but either way, guys, I feel very confident that this team can get the job done. We did fairly well against a team that was much quicker than Heroes as Guardians combined, but Black Widow covering for that speed disadvantage, and as well Hulk being able to take away damage and sustain. I think this potentially could be the potential winner for the team. We'll see what happens when we get more information out there for the test servers and seeing how the other content creators release the information. But this could very well be a team that we can keep an eye out for, guys. Very, very promising. And as you saw, Thor really leading the forefront for that damage. So a must-have character to build up. Thank you as always, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, I'll keep you guys posted and see you guys in the next one.